If you want to get your company to the top of Google searches, then trust Hotclickmarketing. I trust them, and they're sponsoring me for the entire season. Tonight's vlog is going to come largely from inside the stadium, principally at the private boxes that are around the stadium, because that's where a lot of the City fans, and there were just over 100 of them who went out to Kharkiv, are being treated by the club. So more on that in a moment, but it does lead me to the question as to what makes a City fan, and is one better than another? I certainly don't think so. I've attended a lot of games, but I don't consider myself to be a better fan than anybody else. I'm just lucky that I am able to do the travelling that I do and to be a City fan. But there will be fans tonight, I'm sure, who travel from all around the world, like these fans who come all the way from Israel.
Well, coming from Israel, we are following the club for 45 years old, I would say, from the main road days. Coming a couple of times a year to follow the club. This week we came to the Chelsea game, the Shakhtar under 19, of course, this evening, and for us it's our life supporting City. We have about 60 plus supporters and official supporting staff back home. I reckon we probably have 4 or 5 times that number of supporters in the country. Support's growing really rapidly given the success of the last few years, especially the young kids. But for us, it's going all the way back from the early 70s, the good days, the not so good days, and now the brilliant days.
I'm really happy to connection with all the City fans from different parts of the world, and also, of course, the fanatics in Manchester who went all the way to Kharkiv, for example.
That's amazing. That's really, really amazing. And I've heard about what the club is doing for them, which I think is a great thing to invite them to the game today. That's a real support, you know, going so far away. Yeah, it's brilliant.
So here we are inside the ground, and behind me in box 34, I had to just check on the door then, high up above the pitch, are several of the fans who made their way out to, well, it was Kharkiv, wasn't it, but Shakhtar Donetsk for the away game against the Ukrainian team. There were only just over 100 fans made the trip, and these fans found a way by hook or by crook with 2 weeks information to get the travel plan sorted, had to go via various different destinations, i.e. from London via Kiev, that was certainly how I went, and other routes like that. And here tonight they're being treated by the football club to a little reward for their loyalty, which I think is a tremendous thing that the club are doing, and a real proper thank you from the club. So let's talk to one or two of them and find out what their trip was like and how they got and why they're so dedicated.
2 o'clock in the morning, we left Woodhouses. We picked up Barry Foy in Failsworth. We picked up Sykesy in Bury. We picked up Mike Davis in Newton Willows, and then my son Adam drove down to Gatwick, parked the car at Gatwick, got the same flight as yourself, because you actually filmed me asleep, which I have never lived down. And then we stayed one night in Kiev, then we got the train to Kharkiv, did the match, one night in Kharkiv, train back to Kiev, flight back to Gatwick, and then myself and my son drove home. Again, we dropped Mike Davis off, Sykesy off, and we got in bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, was it? 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's some commitment. Why did you do all that?
City, innit?
We obviously get to the desk where we tried to rebook a flight, and we lost one of our party, and we could only presume he'd got on the flight. And then after managing to talk it all around, they put us on the flight the next morning, and he said, "Oh, where's the other guy?" I said, "Well, we presume he's on the flight," and obviously it turned out he got on the flight with no boarding card. So,
given all that trouble and all that hassle, was it worth it?
Oh yeah, I'd do it again. I'd go there again now.
Why would you go to those lengths? Because people watching this would go, "You must be bonkers."
It's just, can I say, part of the fun. It's what you do to follow City. Get to go to some great places, and obviously get some stories along the way.
What's your reaction to this, Tommy?
Oh, it's absolutely great. Like, you know, I've not been offered a drink yet, but I'll do it. We're all doing a bit, like, you know.
I mean, when you were a player, how much did it matter that there were fans as dedicated, as obsessed as this lot are?
Everything. meant everything to all the players.
They've always been like that, though, haven't they? All Man City supporters have been the same, even from when we were playing and before.
So both your debuts.
It's amazing that the club are doing this, though.
Oh, it's
Isn't it?
fantastic, great, it's absolutely amazing and well deserved.
So Matthew, I met you first out in Kharkiv, and you told me your story.
Yep.
And actually, for those who don't know the story, I'll give you a little bit of it now.
No, I've had cancer.
Wow.
So I'm in remission now, but the chemotherapy's damaged my back. I've got a prolapsed disc and nerve damage in my back. So, and I've had injections to stem the nerves and dead nerves, and that hasn't worked. So I should have had a hospital appointment on Tuesday, but I got there and it's been cancelled. So I've just got to wait for a new appointment now. So
Now that's your story, and here you are today, being treated by the support by the football club. How does it make you feel, Matthew?
it's an amazing gesture. We didn't. You, as I say, you sorted something out for me when we got back. But then the club have sorted it out for all of them who travelled. I just can't thank him enough. So,
I mean, it must have been a very difficult trip for you at the time. You
Yeah.
explained the story, but
Yeah.
to have that level of commitment is something else, isn't it?
I've never been, so I've travelled quite extensively, but I've never been to that country. It was a proper eye opener. As I say, I might be in a wheelchair in 12 months, so it was one of the last. Could be one of the last, but you never know. I hang on hope.
You brought your missus today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he a bit
Unfortunately.
daft for doing all that? Or do
No,
you-
he's just committed to the club. We've supported him for 20 odd years now. He goes home and away, and obviously his condition. The last 18 months have been a bit hectic, but he's still been committed to the club. Obviously, what he's got, he's just got to live his life and hope for the best.
Why were you so determined to go to the game?
Because that's where City are. So that's where we'll go.
So there's no other answer to it
No,
than
no,
that.
we've been every year they've played over there. So City are in Europe, that's where we'll go and watch the team.
So if City draw Shakhtar Donetsk in next year's Champions League, you'll be there again, will you?
That's when.
Yes. I hope not, but yes, we'll be there.
How would you describe the trip to Kharkiv?
The most tiring trip I've ever done watching Manchester City, and I've seen City in 34 different countries, done all sorts of travel, and it was hard from 2 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday morning till I got back Friday morning at 4:30, but it was worth it to see the boys, as you know.
You're
That
sitting here now as a result of City in a private box. How does that feel?
It's very nice, they've done something. I dare say if it was Bayern Munich at home or Barcelona, we won't be getting this privilege, but why not? They've done all right. They've done all right.
Never been like this before in a box. I think it's going to be great. I hope we win. I think he's going to change the side a bit, but I still think we'll be strong enough to win. I think it'll be quite a leisurely match. I don't think he'll push the pace. If we're not winning by half time, I think he'll up it after half time. But otherwise, I think we'll sort of coast it for most of the match.
It wasn't your first trip to Kharkiv, was it?
No, went there, I think it was the season before or 2 seasons before, and we flew to Odessa first for a couple of nights there, caught the overnight train from Odessa to Kharkiv, and then watched us win again. So yeah, it's a good place and it's very cheap and good.
You've got this right, this is bang on. 114 people went. I don't know how many are here tonight, to be honest. But I've just had Tommy Boovin, Peter Barnes, Joe Corrigan's just been, and obviously you were here, which is a amazing bonus, obviously. But no, this is brilliant, and you can only applaud City for doing it. It's fantastic. Bit of payback for us.
They're going to win tonight, just to cap off the evening.
Oh, is there a game? Oh, I didn't realise. I'm not really sure. I think we will. I think it'll be 2-0, 2-1, something like that.
I don't do it for any reward. I mean, for years there was no reward, was there? We'd go and see us and we were bloody awful. We'd just lose, but we'd do it because you support your club. We've been to some terrible games over the years. And Kharkiv, it didn't even occur to me not to go. I didn't realise there were so few people going, obviously. So when we all got the letter from the club, I was genuinely touched because, obviously, I know people at the club, but I wouldn't expect them to acknowledge this, and I think it's a really lovely thing that they've done. They don't have to do it.
It came straight out of the blue. Nobody expected it, and what a lovely touch. You know what I mean? There's not another club in the country do that for their fans, and especially 2 months after the event as well. You know, the game's gone and forgotten for most people. Do you know what I mean? For the most part, but I think it's absolutely wonderful. Well done at City.
You and I go back to football specials.
We do.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that you'd be sitting here in 2019 in a private box?
Never.
As a reward for going to Kharkiv. It's just unimaginable.
It is unimaginable, yeah. And we never even did it at Main Road. All the places we went, Königsberg and pouring rain in Vienna, we never got that special treatment. But these owners are superb. They're superb and nobody can knock them ever. And City of Manchester can't knock them with all the employment they give them either. It's brilliant. And especially when we do those 9 points over Liverpool and we get to the Champions League final and win it, and then pip Liverpool the last 2 games of the season to win the Premiership again. It'd be great.
Coming back from the Ukraine, they overbooked the flight, so fortunately a couple of lads had a few too many right before and they missed it, so I was just allowed back on, but I thought I was going to get stuck in the Ukraine on my own, no money, but now I'm back here and got this fortunate gesture from the club to be in this nice facility and watch the game. Really looking forward to it. You know, it's special to watch City most of the time, but then to watch it in a nice environment like this on a cold night, it's all right. So very, very grateful.
Yeah, we all got this letter. It got posted on Facebook. One of the lads got it. Then we're all eagerly waiting for this letter to come through. Personally signed by a player. Mine's at home. I was supposed to bring it, but never mind. We went from the airport going to the hotel after we landed in Kharkiv, and this clapped out taxi, he must have thought it was some kind of Ferrari or something because he was driving it like a lunatic. We were flying down the road, this woman steps out, stops another car, and if I hadn't have shouted, and screamed at the driver, then we'd have just smashed straight in the back of her and knocked her over and just wrote ourselves off. But it was an absolutely horrendous ride. Oh yeah, fantastic trip.
It's brilliant that a club like Manchester City appreciates the value and the hardcore support that they've always had, and of course they have now because they're successful. But I remember the atmosphere just being as good when they were in Division 3 because their supporters are unbelievable. And I'm glad to think Ashton-under-Lyne, I just love City in the days of Bert Troutman and Roy Paul and Dave Ewing, and that I'm going back, but it's great to see the success, but it's even greater for supporters whose families and fathers and grandfathers have always been supporters, and that they are getting treated so well in this day and age.
So it's half time, 0-0, and as well as the fans being treated to private boxes in the East Stand, here in the Legends Lounge, the Supporters Club have been invited in, which is another lovely touch for this Shakhtar game. So let's find out how some of these fans view that first half. What do you think of this?
Oh, Legends, I think it's a great thing for us. As far as I'm aware as well, we're raising money for City in the community, so I can't argue.
What do you make of the first half?
Well, I didn't know what to expect to start with. I suppose maybe they've got in their minds we only need a point. It's one of those games, got a couple of big ones coming up. It's not great to watch though, Ian. It's not great to watch.
It'll get better.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, I think so. I think perhaps we maybe need to sort of weirdly give a goal away before we start playing. But I think at that point we'll probably take them on. 3-1 I'm going with.
Well, I think Manchester City started off slow. Obviously they missed some key members of the team like Aguero. But hopefully, I'm sure they're coming back in the second half.
To be honest to God, if we weren't in here having a nice drink, I wouldn't have enjoyed it, but it was tepid, lukewarm, not good enough. But I think at the end of the day, it mattered more to Shakhtar tonight than it did to us. We thought we'd just get an easy 3 points and we'd win the group. As it is, we've drawn. Zagreb lost at Atalanta, so we have won the group, and it's done and dusted. But we really didn't need to excel ourselves tonight, and they didn't.
But it's made up for it being in here.
Of course it has.
Wasn't very good. In all fairness, could have done a lot better. We're a bit off the pedal.
Any particular reason you think for that?
No, just think we actually thought we got it in the bag. An easy win. But
Any positives you can take from it?
yeah, he brought Phil Foden on. I like Phil. Phil, hi.
Disappointing, but it's job done at the end of the day. Draw gets us group winners through to the next stage. Just got to look forward to a reasonable draw.
Just do what you need to do.
Just do what you need to do. I think it just felt like that. The whole night just felt like that. Good hospitality, but the match a disappointment.
City were complacent right from the start. Didn't really take it that seriously. We're through, that's the main thing. We're top of the group. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. The best part of the evening, though, has been the hospitality in here.
Yeah, we've qualified. It's the only disappointing thing for me is that you see a lot of energy and effort off certain players, i.e. Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin got taken off purely because of the effort that he put in. I think if we got that effort off a lot of other players, then yeah, we qualified. You can't say anything else. We're through, and you might get as good a draw finishing second. Not as though we're going to finish second, but you could get an easier draw finishing second than you can finishing first. So, hey, let's onwards and upwards.
So it's a confirmed dead rubber at Zagreb, so you won't be going now, will you?
No, I ain't bothered with that one. I've had my free day out today, so no need to go to Zagreb. Yeah, I'll be there, mate. I'll be there.
Well, you'll be in Zagreb.
It's all in
You're going to be in Zagreb.
Yeah, we're all,
it's already booked.
Yeah.
It's already booked.
It's all booked. And we'd have gone anyway. It doesn't matter. Just say the team needs support. And I think, we've got 2 tough games coming up. We've got 2 away games in the league, which are massively important. And we finished top of our group. So what more do you want?
So this game against Shakhtar Donetsk ends in a draw. City top the group. The people in this box and the other boxes along the east stand have enjoyed the treat that City have given them, a reward for their loyalty. City weren't quite at it tonight, were they? Not quite at the level we're used to seeing, but I'm sure against Newcastle, Burnley and the Derby match that are all coming up, we'll see City return to being their best. Whatever happens, as usual, it's always great being a Blue. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting me, and of course thanks very much to Hotclickmarketing and the RRG Group for being my sponsors. But most of all, as I say, thank you for watching, and I'll see you if you're going to Newcastle up there. If not, you'll see my vlog. See you then. Thank you. A big thank you to the RRG Group for their sponsorship of the Matchday vlog throughout the season. So if you're looking for a new car or a used car and you want to deal with somebody you can trust, then I can certainly recommend the RRG Group. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for your support.